Hi, I'm Lane. Let's talk about order of operations with integers and exponents. For the first problem, I'm just going to work it out like I would normally. For the second one, I'll give a little bit more of an in-depth explanation, and then I'll show a couple more examples at the end. For this first problem, I would start with this innermost set of parentheses right here, where it says -2 squared. Let's work that out down here. -2 squared means -2 times -2. And what is 2 times 2? It's 4, right? And our answer is going to be positive because we're multiplying two negative numbers. So -2 squared is 4. Now I'm going to rewrite this expression, but I'm going to replace that part with a 4, okay? All right, now let's work out what's inside this pair of parentheses. 4 minus 4 is 0, right? So I'm going to rewrite this, but I'm going to replace the contents of this pair of parentheses with a 0. Okay, my next step would be to square 0 to apply this exponent to the 0 here. 0 squared is just 0, so next I would write -5 times 4 plus 0. Now adding 0 isn't going to change the value of our answers, so we can just say that this is equal to -5 times 4. All right, and our final answer is going to be negative because we're multiplying a negative by a positive. And what is 5 times 4? 20, right? So our answer should be -20. Let's put that in. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to give a little bit more explanation. So the order of operations, you might remember this from school, is PEMDAS, right? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. And remember that these two, the multiplication, division, and the addition, subtraction, those can be done in either order. But you've got to start first with parentheses, okay? So we would look at this problem and we would say, where do we see parentheses? I see parentheses in two places. Okay, first, there's one here. There's a set of parentheses here, but there's not really anything to do inside it. This is just -4. In the second set of parentheses, there is something that we can do. We can simplify that little expression in there. What is -3 minus 1? -3 minus 1 is -4. All right, there's two different ways to think about this. This expression right here means the same thing as -3 plus -1. So maybe that makes it clear that the answer should be -4. And also, if we were thinking about this one, -3 minus 1, you should think in your mind about where is -3 on the number line. And then since we're subtracting 1, we're going to move 1 to the left. And so our answer would be -4. Okay, so I'm going to replace the contents of that set of parentheses with a -4. Okay, now we've taken care of the parenthesis part. We still have parentheses here, but like I said, with this one, there's not really anything to do in either one of these parentheses. Our next step would be to look where are there exponents in this problem. There are exponents in two places, and in both of them, the problem is asking us what is -4 squared. We've got that in two places. So let's work that out down here. -4 squared means -4 times -4. And our answer is going to be positive because we're multiplying two negative numbers. And 4 times 4 is 16. So -4 squared is 16. I'm very sorry that my head was in the way of the writing right there. -4 times -4 is positive 16. So I'm going to replace those two expressions, -4 squared, both by the number 16. So we have 16 divided by 2 plus 16. Okay, we've taken care of parentheses, we've done exponents. Now we're going to look for multiplication or division in our problem. There is division right here, so we'll do that next. What is 16 divided by 2? 8, right? And finally, we're going to look for addition or subtraction. Addition is right here, so we're just going to add the 8 plus 16. Our answer should be 24. Let's check that. All right, we'll do a few more problems. Okay, in this problem, we're going to start again with the parentheses. There's a parenthesis in the denominator, but there's not really anything to do inside of it. The one that we need to take care of is this one up here. We need to subtract -3 minus 4. What is -3 minus 4? It's -7, right? This is the same as -3 plus -4. So my first step is going to be to write this expression, but to replace that the contents of that pair of parentheses with a -7. Okay, that took care of parentheses. Now we are moving on to exponents. We have exponents in two places, so let's work them both out. -7 squared means -7 times -7, right? So our answer is going to be positive because we're multiplying two negatives, and what is 7 times 7? It's 49. Now for this other one, this is -2 cubed. And what that means is -2 times -2 times -2, 3 times. Oops. Okay, -2 times -2 times -2. These first two, let's multiply the first two -2's together. If we multiplied those together, we would get 4, right? So what this says is 4 times -2. Now, since we're multiplying a positive number by a negative number, our answer is going to be negative. And 4 times 2 is 8. So -2 cubed is -8. All right, so I'm going to write a 49 up here where the -7 squared was, and I'm going to write a -8 down here where the -2 cubed was, okay? Now down here on the bottom, because this is -8, the -2 cubed is -8, I'm going to open up a pair of parentheses here so that we can keep our negative sign straight. All right, on the bottom there was a -3 and then a minus sign, so we've got to put that minus sign. Now I'm going to put a pair of parentheses and I'm going to put this -8 in there. I could have done the same thing on the top. I could have put some parentheses around this 49, but I didn't because there were no negative signs that might confuse us there. But there are in the bottom, so it's important to put this pair of parentheses. Okay, we've taken care of parentheses, and again, there's not really much to do in this set of parentheses. This is just the number -8. We've taken care of exponents. Now we're going to move on to multiplication or division. Is there any multiplication or division? Yes, there is. There's this division right here where this fraction bar is. But before we can take care of that, before we can do that division, we need to evaluate the top and the bottom. All right, so we need to finish. We need to add 49 plus 1, and we need to do -3 minus -8 in the bottom. Then we'll do the division. So let's look for addition or subtraction. In the top, 49 plus 1 is 50, right? That's easy. Now in the bottom, what is -3 minus -8? I want you to look right here at these double negative signs and this parenthesis right here. If you convince yourself, if you really convince yourself, you might be able to think of these two negative signs and that plus and that parenthesis, as a plus sign. Okay, so what I mean by that is that I can write on the bottom, instead of -3 minus -8, I can write -3 plus 8. And that means the same thing. Or in other words, these two negative signs make a plus sign. All right. Now on the bottom, let's do that addition. -3 plus 8, what is that? -3 plus 8 would mean the same thing as 8 minus 3. Or if you thought about a number line, and where is -3? Down here. Since we're adding 8, we're going to move 8 places to the right. And our answer should be 5, right? Okay, so this problem says 50 over 5, or 50 divided by 5, which is 10, right? So 10 should be our answer. Great, we'll do one more problem. Okay, for this one, we're going to start by saying, are there parentheses and is there anything to do inside them? Yes. What is -1 minus 1 in here? -1 minus 1 is going to mean the same thing as -1 plus -1, which is -2. Or, again, we could think about a number line. Start with -1, subtracting 1 from -1 would mean to move one space to the left on the number line. And so we would arrive at -2. So I'm going to replace the contents of the parentheses here with a -2. Okay, now what is the next step? We need to look for exponents. There's one right here and one right here. Let's take a look at the first one first. What is -3 squared? -3 squared is not the same as this. Okay, the difference is that negative sign here on the left-hand side is going to be applied after the exponent. So for -3 squared, we would say, what is 3 squared? It's 9, right? And then we would make it negative. -3 squared written like this means -9. This one would be +9. Okay. So this -3 squared, we are going to replace that by a -9. So we're going to have -9 times 2 plus, now what is this? We need to take care of this exponent. -2 squared means -2 times -2, which is +4, right? Okay, that's parentheses, exponents. Next is multiplication or division. We have multiplication right here. -9 times 2 is -18. And then we're going to work on addition or subtraction. We've got addition right here. -18 plus 4 is going to be -14. Okay, so that should be our answer. Okay, great, we got it right. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and we will be glad to help you. And thank you very much for watching.